Denver, Major Garett, National Journal's White House correspondent. Good morning.
Good morning.
So what does the Romney campaign have to do now to take advantage of what everybody believes was a victory in the debate?
Well, Charlie, there's a very simple answer to that, and two Romney campaign officials told it to me before the debate started. Said if this night works for us, our biggest challenge will be not dousing the flame we set tonight, meaning they know that they've internally messed up advantages and advantageous moment Mitt Romney has set for his campaign. So they know now the most important thing between this debate and the next one is not to blow the momentum, to enhance it, to blow on that fire and make it larger and not douse it. That's the biggest challenge the Romney campaign faces.
And so what's the challenge for the Obama campaign?
To bounce back. Two very significant Democrats who I talked to last night looking at the debate said, well, I would call the debate trading places. Mitt Romney's back was against the wall. Now the president's back is against the wall, and he's going to have a much sharper, much more pointed, and much more passionate debate performance, or people will not have the confidence that he has what it takes for a second term and a vision to carry that through.
Major, let me read you a tweet this morning. It says, this wasn't a debate so much as Mitt Romney just took Obama for a cross-country drive strapped to the roof of his car. So what is the spin that the White House is putting on what happened to the president last night to explain it?
Well, the White House knows that the president was on the low end of the energetic scale, and they're calling that presidential and slightly deferential. But that surprised a lot of us who were expecting at least part of the president's performance to reflect that which his campaign has said about Governor Romney. There are at least 10 lines of attack that the president left off the table completely. Nothing about China, outsourcing, Bain Capital, 47%, exotic offshore business or tax shelter arrangements. All kinds of things that the campaign has been pounding Mitt Romney on that the president did not bring up himself. And several Democrats I talked to last night who are not on the Obama payroll said the president's demeanor left the country with the impression that Mitt Romney is an acceptable alternative whom the president disagrees with, where the whole tone of his campaign is, yes, I disagree with you, but more importantly, you're an unacceptable alternative. Those who are closest to the president and wish him well know that dynamic is going to have to change in the second debate.
Major, this may have been the first time in a presidential debate that Big Bird was mentioned. It seems kind of like a silly thing to bring up. However, if you look on social media, whether it was Twitter, whether it was Google searches, or even on Facebook, it was a term that was searched a great deal, and you can see that graphic there. What does that tell us? And wasn't it an effective line by Mitt Romney, or did it obscure some of the larger fiscal challenges that this country is facing?
Nora, you know the White House well, and you know sometimes those closest to the president talk about him playing the long game, always playing the strategic long game. And if there was a nuance that the Obama team had after last night, it was they were playing the long game. There were things that Mitt Romney said in moments that may not have looked electric on camera, but that they can use downstream. Big Bird and PBS and attacking things that most swing voters and independents tend to like and would like to keep in government is something that they're going to mine in the future. When Governor Romney made a joke about getting a better accountant, trust me, I think you'll see that showing up in either campaign stump speeches or advertisements, endorsing in ways that he hadn't before and as explicitly as before Paul Ryan's voucher mechanism for Medicare retirees 10 years from now. These are things that the Obama team believes, like with Big Bird, Governor Romney said, and they can use against him, not in the moment of the debate, but downstream in preparation for the second debate. Like I said, that's the long game. That's the nuanced answer. That's the nuanced spin for what they know internally was not a great night for the president. And to make it better, they have a lot of work ahead of them.
Do you think, Major, that the president was surprised coming out of the block by Romney's performance and therefore was simply taken aback and never got back on stride?
Well, as Bill said, incumbents often have problems in their very first debate. It is not unusual for presidents to be somewhat taken aback by the idea of someone standing right across them and telling them that they're wrong. That's not a typical experience for presidents in the Oval Office. It's exactly the opposite. So I think the president was taken aback, and when your challenger is funnier than you on the 20th anniversary of your wedding, you know you're off to a bad start.
Yeah, good point.
Very good point. Thank you, Major Garett.